As I implied at the beginning of the programme, it's the New Zealand Ploughing Championships in Methven, and then comes the World, and it's very, very soon. Colin Millar has been very much involved and admits it's a big project.
Yeah, it is a huge build-up. We've been working on this for over 5 years, so it's taken a long time, but we're here.
5 years ago, it would have seemed like a million years away, but now all of a sudden it's days.
It's days, and it's now almost hours. It's coming, it's happening.
First of all, how does New Zealand go out and get the World Championships, like the Olympics have to go out and get the Olympics?
We, the New Zealand board member, who's myself, notify the World Board that we request a forthcoming event, and it's about 15 years away when you put your name forward. So it's a fair bit of planning, and so we've actually already applied for the next world event in New Zealand. So
what, about 15 years out?
It's 2025. We've said to the World Board we want to have the next one.
Why Methven?
Methven is suitable soils that are available. This will be some of the best soil that, so I'm told, the best soil ever at a world event, let alone at a New Zealand event. Fantastic soil.
So obviously the World Organisation will check everything out?
Yes. Although the World General Secretary and Speaker usually travels several times to the forthcoming event prior to, and this one he's got so much confidence in us that we've done the job right. He has not travelled here, he's arriving here today.
Lincoln's already hosted it at one stage as well. Any other areas in New Zealand that are ideal?
Lincoln did, and so has on the Tyree Plains.
Now obviously trying to coordinate teams from around the world can't be easy.
It is not easy. It is not easy. I've just had one competitor come to me and say, I've got the tractor, thank you very much. I've got the plough, but I haven't got the clips to hold the plough on. Can you help me? Yes. We as New Zealanders, when we travel, we take all that stuff with us every year. We're used to it. Those guys are not used to that sort of thing.
Seems to be quite a few now are bringing their own gear though. They're bringing their own tractor.
A lot of them are bringing their own. A lot of them are bringing their own ploughs, and several of them have bought their own tractors and ploughs. It's a big task, and they think it's a big issue. We have to deal with that every year.
Accommodation, of course.
Accommodation is a real nightmare, but this year, being in Methven, we're in ski lodges and motels and all the little complexes around Methven, so it's fantastic. And Nancy and Bob, who are in charge of that, have done a fantastic job.
Now what about your other volunteers? There seems to be a lot of work that just happens, which is a country thing, isn't it?
It's a country thing, and it's a New Zealand thing. We've got Noel Sheet at the top of the committee, who's the chairman, and then he's got his conveners underneath that. And there's those people have done a fantastic job. They've got their workers in behind them. The volunteers, this would not happen if it hadn't been for the volunteers. Normally at a world event, often they're run by government departments or universities. So all those people are getting paid. In New Zealand, we're all volunteers.
So what about the language barriers? Because there must be a few.
There's several language barriers, but I've been here now 12 hours on site, and I'm already starting using the sign language when I'm talking to them. It comes back pretty quick. A lot of them can speak English. There's several of them that can speak very, very fluent English, but there's several of them that cannot speak anything.
Now, the other good thing, of course, is sponsorship, because you couldn't do this without sponsorship.
Sponsorship is huge. They've supported us extremely well. Initially, they were a bit cagey, 3 or 4 years away, but we've been working with a lot of the major sponsors, for 5 years, and they have supported us tremendously. They have been fantastic to us, and now the ones that have said, I'm not sure, they're wanting to come on board. Well, we support the sponsors that have been with us for the 5-year period. So we're trying to give back every opportunity again for our sponsors, because this would not happen if we didn't have the sponsors or we didn't have the volunteers.
Now what about the spectators? You're expecting spectators, obviously.
We're expecting unknown spectators. but we've done a huge publicity drive through the region, and they should flock through the door on Saturday, ends on Sunday for the World event.
And from here on in, you now start planning the 2025 one.
Just give us another 3 weeks, and then we'll tidy this one up, and then we'll start thinking of the 2025.